Ever wished you could just upload a ton of research, like papers or articles, maybe even just your own notes, and then have an AI pull out all the important stuff?
Sounds pretty great, right?
Yeah. And that's what Google's Notebook LM is trying to do. It's like your own personal AI research assistant.
Still in the experimental phase, though.
For sure. But that's what makes it so interesting to deep dive into today. We're going to unpack what Notebook LM can do, what it can't do, and why everyone's talking about it in the world of AI and productivity.
Yeah, and what's really interesting about it is it's built on Google's language models, right? So it's not just like another AI thing that's super hyped up.
Right.
Early reviews are saying it can already do some pretty impressive stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure, even at this early stage.
Yeah.
So let's get into some of those features. Imagine you've got, I don't know, like a super long academic paper, or maybe like a big long report.
Yeah.
Notebook LM can just like condense it all down into key takeaways.
Saves you so much time.
Right, hours of reading time.
Yes.
But it's not just like, like a generic summary.
Right.
You can actually ask Notebook LM specific questions.
Oh, wow.
Like you can be like, what are the best arguments against this theory? Or whatever. And it'll just pull it right out of whatever you uploaded.
Wow. So you can really target your analysis instead of just reading everything.
Yeah.
You can really use the AI to get to the good stuff.
That's where the real power of it is.
I think so, yeah.
Especially for people who want to learn things fast, but also thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
It really is like having a research assistant, like highlighting all the good stuff. And it can do even more. Let's say you're researching AI in education. You've got like articles everywhere, research papers, notes.
Yeah.
Notebook LM could be like a super organized filing system.
Oh,
It
nice.
automatically groups similar ideas together, even across different sources.
So you're able to see those connections that you might have missed.
Exactly.
That's what's so cool about AI.
Yeah, it helps you see the bigger picture.
Up.
And for anyone who, uses Google stuff, Notebook LM works really well with Google Docs and Drive.
Oh, that makes sense.
Makes it super easy to use.
Yeah,
You can ask it custom questions, organize notes into different notebooks. It really adapts to how you want to use it.
It really becomes a part of your workflow then.
Exactly.
Not just like another thing you have to use.
Yeah. But now, even though it has all these cool features, we got to remember it's still being tested.
Right.
There are definitely some limitations. Like sometimes PDFs don't format perfectly.
Yeah.
And while it can organize and summarize, it doesn't have like all the features of other tools,
Yeah, like what kinds of things?
like grammar checks and plagiarism checks.
It makes sense. Those are things to think about. It's still early, so there's definitely going to be improvements to accuracy and all that.
Yeah,
But just the fact that it's already this good is a really good sign.
for sure.
It'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Totally.
Yeah, it's like when you see a young athlete who has all this potential, they may not be winning everything yet, but you can tell they're going to be great.
Totally. Yeah.
And speaking of potential,
Mhm.
one thing Notebook LM is really good at is recommendations.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let's say you're doing research and you just can't think of a new angle or anything.
Mhm.
Notebook LM can look at everything you've given it and be like, hey, what about the economic impacts? Or something like that.
Wow.
It's like a brainstorming partner.
Who's read everything?
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And this really shows how it's more than just summarizing.
For sure.
It helps you come up with new ideas and stuff that you might not have thought of yourself.
And that leads to something else that's super important about Notebook LM.
What's that?
Customization.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How you can really control it.
It's not just about getting information. It's about deciding how you want to use it.
Right.
You can make your own questions to ask it, and you can organize your notes into different notebooks for different projects.
So you can really tailor it to your needs.
Exactly. And speaking of information, let's talk about data privacy.
Oh, yeah. That's the big one when it comes to AI.
For sure.
Luckily, the stuff we read said that Notebook LM doesn't use your uploads to train its AI.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, so your notes and research are safe.
That's super important for people working with confidential stuff,
Definitely, it shows that Google cares about privacy,
which is super important.
for sure.
So we've talked about what it can do and what it can't do, but what about the future? What do you think about the long-term potential?
Well, it's still in its early stages, and there are some things they need to fix, but the potential is huge.
Yeah,
Imagine AI just being a part of everything we do when we learn or do research.
like no more information overload.
Exactly. We could focus on understanding and thinking about things more deeply.
I think that's where Notebook LM could really change things.
Yeah, it's not just about being more productive.
It's about changing how we see information.
Totally. Instead of being overwhelmed by all the data out there, we can use AI to understand it.
That's a powerful idea, and it makes
Mhm.
you wonder about some things. How will this change how we learn, and what skills will be important?
And how will we teach?
Yeah, we'll have to figure those things out as AI keeps getting better.
But one thing's for sure, these tools, like Notebook LM, are making us think about what's possible with research and learning.
It's a pretty exciting time to be someone who loves to learn.
Totally. And we're just at the beginning.
As AI gets better, we're going to see even more amazing tools
Tools that will change how we see the relationship between humans and AI.
and push us to change in ways we can't even imagine.
Exactly.
Well, that brings us to the end of our look at Notebook LM.
It's been a good one.
We talked about what it can do, what it can't do, and what it might be able to do in the future.
Hopefully, everyone listening has a better understanding of this tool and how it might change how we use information.
And before we go, I want to leave you with one last thought. So Notebook LM, it's a pretty powerful tool. Could really change how we learn and do research.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But it's still just a tool, you know?
Right.
What really matters is that people are still curious. Yeah.
And that they use AI to help them be curious.
So the AI can help us process all that information,
Right.
but we still got to ask the good questions
Yeah,
and really understand what it all means.
totally. We can't just rely on the AI to think for us.
It's about working together then. Right.
Exactly.
Use AI to, I don't know, like free up our brains.
Yeah, so we can think about the harder stuff.
The stuff that makes us human.
Right. It's like a team.
Yeah.
Like humans and AI working together.
Each has their own strengths.
Exactly.
And that makes me think about the future again.
Yeah.
How will AI change how we learn?
It's a really interesting question.
Like, will it be more about critical thinking and problem solving?
Maybe. And what about teaching? Will that change?
We'll have to see as AI gets better and better.
It's a journey. Who knows what will happen? But it's pretty exciting.
Tools like Notebook LM give us a little peek into that future.
It really is an exciting time to be, at the
Mhm.
forefront of all this.
Yeah. There are definitely some tough things to figure out and questions we need to answer, but the potential is huge.
Couldn't agree more. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Notebook LM.
It's been fun.
We looked at what it can do, what it can't do, and what it might be able to do someday,
Hopefully, this has helped everyone listening understand this cool new tool.
and how it could change how we all use information. Until next time, keep on learning.